Hey, everybody, and welcome back to Perspectives. I'm Patrice Bobo-Miles, and today my guest is Felicia Scaife. So, hey, Felicia, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you today?
I'm doing good. And, I want you to take a minute and just tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, so again, my name is Felicia, and I what do I do? My goodness, I kind of have my hands in a little bit of everything. Bit of a squirrel, I think is the terminology that people are using these days. And my first thing that I do is a mortgage loan officer, and then I'm the wife. I'm a mama. I'm a sister. I'm a daughter. And my husband and I, we formed a business called Talk is Chic, LLC. And it's a little bit of a collaboration of a bunch of stuff. One thing we started off with is women empowerment movement, where we do brunches, we do seminars, we do retreats, and then we kind of wrapped that into youth mentorship. It's something my husband and I are passionate about and have been involved with for a long time. And we had a company, not company, we had a little side, let's call it a hustle called Swag. And that stands for Saved with Amazing God's Grace. And it was a youth mentorship that we had at our church. And we met with the youth once a month. And we just did activities and just talked about life skills. Believe it or not, it is fascinating to see how many young teenagers don't know how to change a tire and even know what it looks like to put air in a tire. So we were just doing stuff like that, just showing them some life skills. And so Talk is Chic definitely brings that for our youth in our community. And then we just talk to them about financial literacy, just trying to help give the little bit of knowledge that we do know to help somebody not make the same kind of mistakes that we did as a young married couple. So that's kind of the gist of who and what I do.
Well, it's interesting because, getting into a mentorship role is not always, I mean, it is truly a decision of passion and heart, you know?
Mhm.
And so, what had you really deciding that working with the youth, first off, was the direction that you two wanted to go with?
Well, it kind of just goes hand in hand when you're a mom, when you're a parent. Um, the My girls were very heavily involved in the community and just doing all kind of stuff. We kind of pushed them to do a bunch of stuff, and so when they're involved, one of us has to be involved. We joke a lot in the house. My husband's always loved basketball and played quite a bit when he was in high school, and so he uh, was a coach for 11 years so he could keep an eye on the girls. So he he had that, I'm gonna be a coach. Oh, okay. We know what you're really doing. He coached volleyball. Our youngest played volleyball, and Jeff has never ever played volleyball in his life, but all of a sudden he wants to be a volleyball coach. So again, keep his eyes on his girls. And so one thing growing up, and even to this day, parents, you need to be heavily involved in your children's lives at their schools, because the teachers need to see, um, if the kids are acting up or what have you, they know what kind of parents they have. And if vice versa, the teachers are not being too kind to the kids, then it helped. It just helped. I'll just put it in that kind of term. It just helped. So just being involved in our kids' lives and their friends, and knowing that there is a need for that in the community is what triggered us to want to help in the mentoring part.
So, obviously, you were very active in your girls growing up.
Mhm.
And so, I know working out in the community and financial literacy is something that's really close to my heart as well. That there are a lot of young girls and young boys who don't really have a strong steering compass coming from the home.
Mhm.
And how have you found that you and Jeff and Talk is Chic have been able to come in and really fill a need in some instances, almost taking on a role of a bonus parent, right?
Mhm. Yeah. So, just trying to make it fun for them. Just coming up with different games and different scenarios for them, and they're already talked at. They're already because they get that at school all day long and then at home. So we're like the fun, cool parents that they can just open up and be um,
Safe,
respond. Just where they can open up to us. No different from our girls. If they go with friends or what have you, they're going to feel more at ease sometimes talking to someone else about something rather than their parents, because you know um, that's just how things go. So just making it interesting, being fun, being transparent, being open, letting them know upfront what our mistakes and challenges were, and just so that they can kind of see, oh, okay, they didn't know everything either. It's okay to not know everything.
right,
So
right.
that's where it's we've been able to, I think, catch them.
So, what do you think? Just, and this is a real general question,
Mhm.
whether you're working with, whether you have kind of taken a young girl or a young boy under your wing, um, what is one or two things that you find is very similar, as far as how they're navigating, and how do you feel that you're kind of able to go in and maybe support something or fill a void or build somebody up? That's a big.
So something similar between the two, or something similar that I can see in myself when they were that age?
Yes.
Okay. So where I see similarities for where they're at their age, for me, is the stubbornness. Just being stubborn, thinking that I knew it all and had, I'm grown. I got this, and um, that part, like you see yourself and you're like, oh, if only an adult would have said XYZ to me back then, something that have clicked and be like, okay. And again, it goes back to starting off right off the bat. Look, I was your age once, although you don't really want to acknowledge that I was, and I did not understand a lot of stuff. Um, but this is what helped me. And our kids are very visual, so you have to meet them where they're at. Us at that age, we didn't have this cell phone and the social media. We didn't have all of that. So our kids are so in tuned with that, and they're into the TikToks and the stuff. And so I just I think it just has been a little bit easier for, I would say, Jeff and I, because we always try to talk to kids the same age as our girls,
Mhm.
because they would help us. No, mom, don't say that. They don't want to hear that. You know, um, I don't know. Sometimes as adults, we wait to start talking to youth when our kids are grown, and we lose that touch of
Mhm.
where they're at. But what we did, like I said, is every year we would just gravitate to the kids that were the same age as ours. That way we could rely on them to tell us, yes, that's working, or no, they're not hearing you, mom or dad. They're not hearing you. You're just talking at them, and you're not really listening to what they have to say. You're not meeting them where they're at. Does that
So,
answer your
how is
question?
this translated into the work with you do that you do with adults and female empowerment? And I want to talk a little bit about this annual Talk is Chic event that you do.
Um, so as as women, we and it's just the same old conversation. We go through so much. We do a lot for everybody else, and we don't take the time for ourselves to really figure out where and who and what we want to be, because we're kind of, once you become a mom, that's your focal point is being a mom, being a wife. And especially if you've been married for a long time and so young, you were trying to figure yourself out as a young mom and as a young wife. So when you become of age and you've gone through some things in your life, it kind of shapes and molds you into the person that you want to be. And if you stay focused and use your trials and tribulations for the good, you can help someone again to not have to go through some of the hardships. And especially our children, we don't want them to go through trials and tribulations if we can help it. But they need to go through some because they also need to be molded and shaped into the person that they are designed to be. But if we can just help a little bit along the way to prevent them from doing some of the same mistakes that we may have done as a young person, um, that's just going to make their path a little bit easier. But again, they need to be able to have their own trials and tribulations. So, um, um, women tend to have a bit of a struggle on connecting with one another. Um, um, I don't think any of us will ever understand that. Why is it so hard for us to actually get along and actually like each other? But again, we're all battling something. We're all have gone through something. We're all going through something. Um, if you have the gift of gab, which I do at times, I can recall getting in trouble in school, just talk, 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 talk. Um, and talk is chic. It is that. I can, my mom was showing me some of my report cards that she kept, and it was that conduct, that mouth. Um, it is funny because I have one just like that. Her conduct on all of her report cards, good grades, but it was that mouth. And that's honestly, it's a gift. It's a gift that you can actually connect with people, smile, and just make them feel, good if you're having yourself a good day. And the other thing is, um, it's not talked about a lot in the African American community, to release um, any trauma or anything that you may have gone through. And when you're mentoring and you're talking to someone, a little bit of you're kind of releasing as well. It's therapeutic for yourself because you're actually, wow, I'm actually saying this out loud. I'm actually getting this out. Crying does that for me. Every time I shed a tear, it's not always because I'm sad. It's because, wow, I've actually released something I've been holding on for so long. So that's kind of what Talk is Chic is. It's just to show people that you're not alone, regardless if you are an adult or if you're a child. I've been where you are. I have had some struggles and some trials and some tribulations, but I'm here just like you are, trying to maneuver and make this life journey work the best that I possibly can.
So really, you're trying to find a place where people can find their commonalities, what we have in common, maybe
Hmm.
some of the same struggles we've shared, and
Hmm.
we can tell a whole lot of stories just being professional Black women about
Right.
what some of those struggles look like. And
Right.
so, when you have an opportunity to sit and really have transparent
Hmm.
and honest conversations with each other,
Hmm.
there really is a healing that kind of takes place
Yes.
with
Yes.
that. And interestingly enough, we hear all kind of things about how women can't work together. And then, of course, we hear especially Black women can't work together. Nobody likes anybody, and it's always,
Uh-huh.
we're button heads and everything that goes with that. And I really liken some of that back to um, some of the generational curses that have kind of been handed down,
Yes.
from generation to generation to
Hmm.
generation. Whether, we're talking about hair,
Hmm.
hair seems to be a real big something to talk about.
Yes.
Me personally, it's just hair. You
Right.
can cut it off and it can grow back. You can wear it natural
Hmm.
or you can put something in it.
That's right.
You can go bald or you can put on a wig.
Hmm.
So it, it's always very
Yes.
interesting to me, those conversations that come up with hair. And interestingly enough, it's in this is kind of a funny, ironic thing. I have not been podcasting very long, and so the guests that I have had are people that I've known for, and oftentimes many, many years. And Felicia is one of those people. And Felicia and I work for the same company.
Hmm.
Um, Her oldest daughter is the same age as my youngest daughter.
Hmm.
They grew up together, going to slumber parties,
Hmm.
going through different kind of phases of dance and all it is. And I can say, um, through all of that, whether we were working together or we were kind of on a parallel journey, I never felt like I was competing
Hmm.
with you.
Yep.
And I don't ever feel like I'm competing with anybody. And it took a while to get to the point that I realized that the only person that I was competing with at any one given point in time were what my expectations of me are. And so I really think, part of what you do with Talk is Chic is you really give women um, an opportunity to fellowship and give women an opportunity to break bread and share ideas
Hmm.
and grow fruitful relationships and collaborations. I am a firm believer that collaboration is definitely the new competition, because certainly we can go fast alone, but we get farther together.
Right.
So you have something coming up. I believe it's this weekend, don't you?
I do. I do.
What
Yes.
what is coming up this weekend, Felicia?
So it is called Sis Let's Talk, and it's my second annual event. And God gave me this sitting in a hospital bed, and I asked him, "What is it that you want me to do? You're keeping me here for a reason, so." Anything that I do, any visions that you give me, what is it that I can do to glorify you? And I have always grew up as a young child with a bunch of people in my mom's house. We didn't go over a lot of people's houses. The people came to our house,
Mhm.
and I watched her with her friends and in friendships for 40, 50 plus years, and these women are still in her life. And so I grew up watching that. But growing up with my own self, I do have some friends that I've been friends with for 30 plus years. um, and we don't have to talk every day. We don't have to text every day. But when we do, we know that it is genuine, and we can just connect right off the bat. And so I got to the in working in the work environment. Sometimes it's hard to connect with other women. Um, at least it has been for myself, regardless of the race or nationality. I don't know what that is, because I didn't grow up with that. So it again, anything that you do when you're talking and just being around a group of people and you're really having an in-depth conversation with them, um, and you're able to see yourself in some ways of where you need to improve, work on, and grow. And okay, I do. I'm good. I'm good. So there's a lot of people that I know, and they are phenomenal women. Um, and I'm just so thankful and blessed that I have had the opportunity to be in a lot of people's presence. And so um, there's a lot of programs that honor and acknowledge women, but we don't always get the opportunity. People that look like you and I that can be acknowledged in a magnificent way. And so, Sis Let's Talk is the start of it, where highlighting other women in the community that are doing amazing things. They're amazing themselves, and they're business women. They're entrepreneurs. They may work a 9 to 5, but whatever it has be, whatever it is, they are making a positive impact in this community, whatever they're doing. So I'm able to have the opportunity to highlight these women, and let them shine. um, that is what Sis Let's Talk is about. Listening to other people's perspectives on whatever they want to talk about, and letting them shine a light on them. The other part of that, once we do our Sis Let's Talk, the other part is I allow the community to actually vote on some women that they just want to honor. It could be a doctor, it could be a lawyer, it could be a realtor, a your mom, just a woman who just impacts you and motivates you. And as a community comes together, it's called the Galentine Gala, and it'll be held in February of 2023. It will be our second one. We did one last year, and the 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 overwhelming um, feeling that you get to hand off another woman an award for just being themselves, I can't even describe that, because the everyday working woman doesn't always get acknowledged unless they are the leaders in the community, or they are doctors or lawyers. That everyday working woman that's just a teacher out here doing what she loves to do, her passion, and actually gets acknowledged for that. So um, those are the two major events that I do within Talk is Chic. And I'm just humbled and honored that God allows me to be connected to some awesome women in this community that I can rub elbows with. And I don't have a problem with being in the room with people that are smarter than me, because there's a whole lot of people that are, and that I can learn because I am teachable. And so that's what it's about.
I love that your passion is really about um, highlighting and celebrating other people, other women,
Mhm.
in this instance, because you're absolutely right. Um, you know, there's a whole lot of the woman is the glue that holds the family together,
Mhm.
um, and that is still a very real an important role to be celebrated, not just because you're holding your family together, but in a lot of instances, we're working jobs.
Mhm.
We're juggling kids' calendars. We are volunteering to do what we do. We are making sure that the house is, the home fires are kept burning, and so many of us do these things and don't really think about anything other than it's just what we have to do because it's
Mhm.
what we do. And so really taking a moment to go, you need to celebrate you, you know,
Mhm.
um,
Right.
walk into what your gifts are, you know, accept and walk into your greatness.
Right.
God gives us all gifts.
Mm-hmm. That's
Um,
it.
and so it's really important to, in my opinion, it's really important to, you know, try to discover what those are so that you're walking in the direction that He has for you. So
Right.
I really appreciate you hopping on with me today
Yes.
and
Thank
just kind of giving
you.
us a chance to just chat.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited about Talk is Chic. I've had the opportunity to attend one event so far. I wasn't able to do the Galentine event last year, but I do plan on being there for 2023.
All right. All right.
So, you know, definitely excited about that, and definitely, you know, thrilled to be part of a group of women who are trying to remove that myth and that stigma.
Yes.
Um, because what you know, perception becomes a reality. So it's just time to change everyone's perception. And I'm excited that you are one of those outspoken, transparent, and you know, fearless women to kind of lead what that charge is. So thank you so much for stopping by
Yes.
today and
Thank you.
being part of Perspectives. So, guys, that's what we've got for today. I appreciate you tuning in. I have some more really interesting guests and conversations lined up. So I hope that you will take some time and come back and share with me perspectives. Have a great day.